You might be wondering if you should exercise in bare feet or in your shoes. And the answer is, it depends. I'm Joan Craig with Choose Joyful Health, and in this video, I'm going to go over some of the advantages and disadvantages of exercising in both your shoes and in bare feet. There's a big movement around barefoot training and rehabbing our feet, getting them out of their shoes and exercising them the way nature intended. And I agree with a lot of the arguments for this. That said, many people have feet that are either too floppy, too loose, they pronate too much, or too rigid. They're very stiff and they don't pronate enough. And many of us have feet that don't pronate or supinate, roll back out at the right times. I believe that if we dedicated quite a bit of time to rehabbing our feet and exercising our feet, it is possible to regain some of the muscle strength that will help them support us in our activities. That said, many of us are so busy that it's all we can do to fit in 30 minutes or 45 minutes of exercise a couple times a week anyway. So in those cases, we may need to wear our shoes. So now I'm going to show you some examples on my feet. You can see that when my feet roll in, they're too pronated. And when they roll out, they're what's called supinated. My foot type is, I jokingly call it a floppy foot, because when I'm not thinking about it, my feet pronate to the inside too much. When we walk, the front foot is supposed to pronate because it's how weight shifts into that front foot. But the back foot is supposed to supinate or roll out. And for many people, myself included, that back foot doesn't do it, and it stays down on the ground too long. And when I practice yoga, I'm able to give myself what I call a yoga orthotic. And by that I mean I keep the big toe mound down, I wrap the shin to the back, the outer shin to the back, and it gives me an arch in my foot. I'm able to do that when I'm doing my mindful yoga practices. That said, when I'm doing more dynamic movements, my functional fitness routine, squatting, lunging, walking, dancing, hiking, I can't keep my arches up, and I can't do that intrinsic muscle work at the same time that I'm engaged in regular activities. So during those times, I wear my supportive shoes with my custom-made orthotic in it. So to get the best evaluation of your feet, you really need someone to check you out in person, and I'll link in this blog post to some resources for that. So the answer is, it really depends. The way I choose to do it is when I do my yoga practices or my stretching, I tend to do that in bare feet, or sometimes I do exercise in the grass outside to feel the muscles of my feet. But when I'm doing more vigorous exercise, I wear my arch supports and my shoes. So you'll have to make that choice for yourself and see when you need the support and when you don't.